So guys, welcome to the final setup video on the computer. Okay, this is a budget build PC which we have made. I'm not really sure if it will be part 2, but hey, if it is part 2, this is the starting of it. So let's get started. So guys, the system is finally done and we have benchmark running. I'll show you guys what FPS we are getting, about 125. We have dialed in a moderate kind of a benchmark, like a moderate kind of an overclock on this system. Now from the last time, I'm pretty sure you have not seen this, but we have got a new cooler on the system because the cooler which was coming with AMD was not really adequate enough to get sufficient cooling for the system. So we had to get a new cooler because the temperature was jumping to how much? About 100 degrees and it was starting to get throttled. I'm not really sure how throttling works on the AMD CPUs, but it was getting throttled and it was not a good sign. So we finally bit the bullet and got a deep cool tower PC cooler. Well, and we have actually overclocked it. So as you can see, this is working and this is running on the graphic card. We have also dialed in a slight overclock on the graphics card. Graphic card is running about 76 degrees with this benchmark running. Now you have to understand that we have a 1080p monitor, so that is definitely not the main focus of a RTX 3060, right? But for us, we are still using a 1080p display and it has been working pretty well for me. Now I'll give you a closer look at what we did here. Here is the tower itself. As you can see, RGB, of course, what system is complete without RGB? The GeForce card is there. One thing which I do want to note is that the 3060 from Galax, they have a external header for the RGB plug if you want to sync with everything. We've had a lot of issues with that, so if you can see that tiny little plug there, we have had some issues with that, so finally what we just decided is that just to remove it entirely. So that is one thing. Also, our power supply only has 8-pin connector with dual 8-pin connectors. We had to cut it off and make it with electrical tape so that it doesn't look so bad. We are still using a hard drive and we are still using an NVMe drive. Now we have one NVMe drive, as you can see there, that is the 970 Evo. Another thing which I do want to mention is that this is not tempered glass. This is actually acrylic, and the main reason is that we wanted acrylic. Okay, yes, I understand it's more susceptible to scratches, it's not PC Master Race, but anyways, we wanted this one because, well, we will be transporting this quite often and we are planning on just removing the CPU cooler, just removing the graphics card and just chucking it entire thing into the tower box and transporting it in the meantime. So that is the plan. So that is the reason we did not want to go for a tempered glass side panel. Backside, I'm not even going to show you. It's not a very easy case to make cable management. It is okay, I'm not going to say it's not, but it's still something which I would consider to be a bit more difficult. This is wallpaper engine, if you guys did not know that. Let's run Firmark with a complete like CPU and GPU stress. So we have this one, it is running at 58 degrees right now. If you see the temperatures of CPU, you can see that the package temperature is about 48, 61 maximum when it was actually doing the benchmarks and all that. So just for your information, we are running at 4.5 gigahertz. Yes, it is overclocked. We have this currents and all that. We did run the benchmark online on user benchmarks and it does come out as 98 percentile. So hey, so that is pretty cool. Now let's say run the GPU and CPU benchmark. So this is the GPU benchmark. As you can see, it is going at 79. It is running 1080 8x MSAA, 75, 78, well, let's say 74 average, OpenGL render, 3060, all that. Pretty cool. Now also let's run a CPU benchmark. Why not? With 12 threads. Let's run that. As you probably could have seen the stutter there, but it is normal, nothing special. Anyways, we have that. Let's go to hardware monitor and see what the temperatures are like. So you can see all the CPU threads are being 100% cool, all cool, all cool. GPU is at 72 now, pretty nice. The CPU fans are full tilt now. Yes, it does have a zero fan mode also, so that is pretty cool. Now we did try to put overclocking on the RAM sticks also, and we have a little bit of overclock on that. I'm not really sure if I can see that in here, but it is there. We had to do it in BIOS. There is a tool called DRAM calculator. We did try with that, but DRAM calculator for Ryzen didn't really work out, so we had to manually do most of the stuff there. But still, hey, it's okay. It's working pretty fine. Overclocking tools which we use for all of these. Now I'm going to stop the benchmark. I mean, I know that it should be running for some time, and I have actually run it for quite some time, so don't worry about that. I've already done it. Everything is stable. Everything is perfect. No issues at all. So that is the stress test done, and now the temperature is going back down. The tools which we used for benchmark are usually memtest for memory. So you can see that, I mean, this is basically to ensure that it's basically working without any issues, so it will show the errors if there are any. So that is one thing. MSI afterburner for GPU overclock. So you can see we have all of this settings. Power limit 100%, memory clock is plus 1000, core clock is plus 140. That is just a quick gist of what we were able to do. Again, overclocking is definitely not same for everyone, so your mileage may vary. Now for the CPU benchmark or overclock, we did use Ryzen Master, which is a pretty decent tool for all of that. But the problem with Ryzen Master is that you can only have it, like you have to install, you have to make the overclock every time you restart. I don't know if you can see or if you can make out what all we did with this, but hey, here it is. Pause the screen and understand what you want to do if you want to go for the same thing. So yeah, this was the ones which we have overclocked and manual overclock with all of this stuff. So you can see 4.5, and we also did it in BIOS so that it can turbo. That is pretty much it about the final build system. Now I'm going to turn off the lights and let you enjoy. I'm pretty happy with this one. I don't know. Let me know about the whole setup, because I am definitely happy with how it turned out. My brother is completely happy with how it turned out. So it may not match, it may not be perfect, but hey, this is what we built, okay? So no hate.